It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of TGIF. I am your host, Gary, and of course I have with my partner in crime, Mr. Keith Moncrief over here. And then, of course, our wonderful guest. Let's make him large. Let's make him uncomfortable.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Large.
And that is, I'm not going to say your real name because I don't know if I meant to ask you and I didn't ask.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay.
No worries.
Is it okay to say your name?
It is okay.
Okay. His name is Andrew, not Anthony. And he's a former military prick, meaning he was an MP.
That's the infantry guys that are the pricks. You got to get it right. So,
I'll tell you a quick story here, Anthony, before we get into this.
Oh boy, here we go.
When I was in basic training, we got tired of looking out our window over to the other company, and they had that right in it's like a breezeway, and there were soda and snack machines right across the street from us. It was irritating us. So we took a window off and rappelled out of the building to set Fort Leonard Wood. And sent a team of guys over with a single duffel bag. Well, technically it was a military laundry bag, one of the big ones with the rope, and just start buying. Everybody gave money. They started buying shit, just hitting buttons. Stuff's coming out in their bag. Then all of a sudden these MPs show up, lights hitting them. And it was like watching cockroaches. When the lights hit them, they spread out. Everybody got busted. And those of us that planned it got busted with them. And in the end, our first sergeant was like, let me get this straight. You removed the windows, rappelled out of the building, and sent out a small team on an operation to get material for you. And we're like, yes, sir. It's exactly what we did. He says, that I can't really get mad at you. That was a military operation. It failed. You were behind enemy lines, and so we just lost the weekend pass over it. But the thing that hurt was we got none of the snacks, lost all that money. It was like $50 worth of money lost in candy. And but you military bastards have MPs, man. God, you do your jobs well. And so what did you do?
In the MP Corps?
As an MP, did you work with a unit on base, or where did you go?
Yeah, we mostly patrolling, like the same kind of thing as civilian police officer
regular
would do.
Police,
yeah. Especially in Germany, I was also attached to the honor guard unit there, which is really cool. I got to do a lot of drill and ceremony kind of things for like
DNC,
Normandy and stuff like that, which is really cool. But not a lot of time off, lots of working. I think the worst schedule I ever worked was like 17 days straight, and they were all about 17-hour days. So that was pretty brutal. It's pretending that you want to be happy whenever you interact with the public. So,
right.
But oh, hey, how can I help you? And then, where's the shop at? And you're like, oh yeah, no problem. And you're like, how did they not know it's right in their line of sight? But yeah, lots of the typical things a regular police officer would deal with. Same kind of stuff that I dealt with when I was in, for the most part. Is that
drunks.
Kind of
Shit
domestics, like worse things than all those things too. Yeah. But yeah, lots of situations like that.
Yeah, it's fun, and when I left the military, it's really funny. I have PTSD, and people are like, how do you have PTSD? Did you get in the military? No, the military was a breeze.
Oh, mine is from being
the
military.
Mine's from being a paramedic and then having my daughter kidnapped. So it's like, and I got really weird with mine.
Gotcha.
But once I got treated, I was a lot better. But so you got yours from the military, from some of the shit you dealt with.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the positive aspect. You leave the military,
and
then you went into pro wrestling.
No, I did pro wrestling before the military.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So you left pro wrestling.
That title belt is a belt that was that I held, and the company eventually closed down, and the promoter was like, hey, you held this belt for this long amount of time. We're closing down. Would you like to have it? And I'm like, hell yeah, I would like to have it. So yeah, that's a one of a kind. It's the only one that exists of it. So it's pretty cool that I got to keep that in the end. But yeah, I did that before going in the Army.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking cool, dude. I'm serious. What was that like?
The wrestling aspect was fun, but it was also, I mean, it's also, I mean, people think it's like all fake, but you really get punched, you really get kicked, you really bleed, you really get slammed through and hit with weapons. Like, all that's real. People are always like, oh, there's no way. And I'm like, okay, let me punch you in the face as hard as I can, and then you can do the same to me, and we can, like, because that's
You're
essentially what
trained.
happens.
Yeah, you're trained how to do it. It's theatrical fighting. Is really
Yeah,
what it
absolutely.
is.
People really get injured. People really get hurt. I got scars on my body from it. My body's that plus the military. My body's kind of dust now at 32 years old. I always tell people it's not the age, it's the mileage. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah, I
you
stand
know?
by that. I stand by that fervently.
Yeah.
But what made you want to leave it though?
There's a lot of egos in pro wrestling. A lot of egos.
I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, of people. You know, I don't want to lose this match. I shouldn't lose. You know, and then it's a lot of work because everyone's trying to get to the top spot, like everyone. So you're literally clawing and fighting to try to get noticed, to try to get recognized, to try to get seen, try to get opportunity. And, you know, obviously when you're on the low end, you're not making that much money at all. It has to be purely passion. And then when you get on the higher end, it's you can make some money, but it's got to be a grind. It's got to be like a full dedication thing. I mean, to really do it.
Did you ever get any injuries, major injuries while you were
What's
wrestling?
crazy is I didn't have a whole lot of actual major injuries when I wrestled. But at the same time, it's weird. When you are wrestling like full time, you gain an almost superhuman tolerance to pain. It's very bizarre. It's every wrestler I've ever talked to agrees. Like, you can take things.
Well, you become acclimated to it.
Yeah. I mean, the worst things I got was a few concussions. I did have a major one when I did what's called a 630, which is a double front flip, basically. And I landed on my neck, knocked myself out, and I still to this day don't have a memory of doing it. I've seen the footage. I just go limp whenever I hit the ground, and my memory goes from climbing the ropes to being in the backstage with like 4 people around me talking to me, and that's my memory of the whole situation.
Right.
Complete knockout. And then I've been cut and bleeding and all that kind of stuff.
Did you do that stuff where you cut yourself in order to increase?
I've done both.
Drum?
So it's called gigging or drawing color, and I've done both. The hard way is way worse because hard way means it wasn't planned. And
it was not planned, and you're bleeding because you got.
I've been hit with the corner of a chair that just like cracked my head, and I'm just gushing blood everywhere. I've had that happen. It taught me like the limits that I before wrestling I would have thought if I watched a clip or a video, oh man, that guy's dead. Oh, that guy probably broke his arm. And then after wrestling, I'm kind of like, oh, he's fine. And
now
like,
I'm going to bet money that your personality and the way you look, you were a sweetheart wrestler.
No.
Fan favorite? No way.
Who
could hate that face?
See, and that's the thing. That's it's more fun being a heel because you can piss people off. The art to it was that like it's how you present yourself, because I knew that I'm a baby face like in my appearance, so I knew I couldn't act like Kane and people be scared. They'd be like, oh, okay, we're not scared. So I just act like I was better than everybody. I looked better than everybody. I would act terrified when a good guy would run out. I'd run out of the ring and act like I'd be, oh, I tripped. I didn't run from him. Okay, calm down. I didn't run. I just tripped. He was coming into the ring. I'd made up excuses. I'd insult the fans, and I was a good guy every now and then, but it was always more fun being a heel, and that's when I really thrived, was getting to start that stuff. So, yeah.
Dorknet is a big pro wrestler guy. He's a good friend.
Thank you.
Why
I
aren't
think.
you here, Dork?
I think. Thank you.
Dork, why aren't you on the show, man? Come on, man. Dorknet's a good friend to the show. He's
Awesome.
a good friend of ours. I love him. He's a good guy. Big pro wrestler guy. But I do want to go back to this one. This is our friend Stephanie Beatty. Keeps in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I was driving home from the commissary the other day, and no joke, 3 MPs came swarming around me and firefighters. Well, someone managed to rack and flip an SUV upside down on a 35 near the hospital. It's a 35 mile an hour area. Even my 7-year-old slipped and said, how the hell did they manage to do that? And she goes, this is Stephanie Beatty, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be surprised. I remember in Springfield. You remember where the hospital is? Mercy is, right, Keith?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, right there on what is that? Sunshine.
Yeah.
Okay, Sunshine. There's a divider there, and the fastest you can really do is about 45, because there's traffic there all the time. And Zoe and I were in a car coming out of the a side street, and looked down, and a car's coming right at us on its roof. We're like, how the hell did he flip at that speed? And apparently he hit the median, but still, I'm like, how did you flip at 45? And yeah, you get some crazy shit. Now, did you deal with a lot of traffic stops?
Yeah, traffic stops, traffic accidents, stupidity, comments. I mean, you name it, I probably went to it in some form or fashion for doing the MP stuff. Yeah.
And before we move on, I still want to stick to this question because I'm curious, because a lot of us in the military tend to follow what we did in the military into civilian life.
Mhm.
And so I knew I could make money while waiting for my art career to take off. And I worked in the medical field for years. And I started out as an LPN, found it really annoying. So I became a paramedic, and I found that exciting, but it burned me out after a few years. And I went back to nursing. But it was like I did nursing for 2 years, and my art career took off. And I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm done. And so a lot of the guys I knew that were MPs in the military, like my brother, ended up being cops in civilian life.
Yeah.
What happened?
The opposite effect for me. Like when I went in, it was like, well, I want to go into a career path that potentially I could use it when I get out and have experience and knowledge and stuff like that, opposed to something that would be a lot harder to do. So that was my initial thought process. But after doing it for so long and getting literally abused on the schedule, me and every other MP, no matter which unit you're part of, just getting worked to death, going to horrific calls and things that you don't want to deal with and stressful situations consistently. Everyone's getting their off time for the holidays. You're not. Everyone's getting their off time for the 4th of July, the Army's birthday, you name it. You're not. It was the opposite for me. I was like, I do not want to do anything to do with law enforcement when I get out. I did what I did, and let's step away completely from that and completely focus on YouTube and video editing, and that's what I did.
And then what do guys like you and I do? We walk around with our fucking hats on all the time.
Yeah, I love it.
And
I'm proud of what I did.
Hell yeah. And it's the only thing I ever got a tattoo, and I didn't want it. I was drunk. And a guy gave me a prison tattoo in my barracks.
Oh my God.
And he had a cassette,
Yeah.
guitar string, and India ink, and tatted me up. And I woke up the next morning with my sheet stuck to me on my arm from the blood.
Yeah.
And I peeled it off going, what the fuck? And when I saw him down, you know what a CTA area is, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And we went down, because our barracks was a billets. It was a tall building.
Mm-hmm.
And they went out like if you look straight down, it looked like a plus sign. And each floor was...
I went to Leonardwood, so I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was Sam Houston, where this was
okay,
at.
got you.
And San Antonio, Texas.
Been there enough, too.
So I go walking out, and he sees me, and I yelled his name. I can't remember his name to save my life now. I yelled his name, and he turned and looked at me, and he went, hey. And I went, hey. I said, we need to talk. And he's looking at me, and I'm walking towards him. Then he realizes I gave him a tattoo, and he told me he didn't want a tattoo until he was drunk. Oh. And then he starts backing away from me as I'm walking toward him. No, wait, dude, we just need to talk. And he turns his body with his head still facing me, kind of trotting away from me, doing the airborne shuffle, like
That's
just
funny.
staying the fuck away from me. And because I was going to beat his ass. Because I wanted to leave this life without a tat. And now I've got this permanent military tattoo on me.
You got a good story with it, though.
Yeah, well, not that good. But
I mean, it's more than most people with tattoos.
Did you get any tats?
No, I actually don't fit almost any of the military stereotypes. No coffee, no tobacco, no drinking. So none of it. Yeah.
Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do?
He's a little on the young side to know that song.
I hydrate with water. That's what I do.
Yeah, I was a terrible medic. I would tell people how to do things, and I'd do the opposite.
That's what all medics do, though. So I mean, that's no different.
Got me fucked up though once because we did a forced march and I ended up having to carry another guy's Alice pack along with a bandolier of ammo on top of my own, plus my medic pack, and that was almost 300 pounds, and it was hot. And when we got back to the barracks, they had to peel my T-shirt off me because the grooves of the straps dug into this flesh.
Right.
And I looked at that guy and said, I'm never fucking helping any of you fuckers again like that. Fuck you guys. You can do it. But, all right. So you did pro wrestling.
Yep.
And then you went into the military.
Mm-hmm.
You get out of the military and you become a filmmaker?
No, I mean, I was doing YouTube around the time. I started actually doing it seriously around the time I was going into the military, and I still worked on projects from there. And at the time, it was just making mock-up videos.
Because that was all the way back in 13. So,
making mock-up videos of what, at the time, impossible ideas. The Avengers actually being together as a team, or the Justice League, and now we have all that stuff in reality. But at the time, it was ever done, so it was using After Effects to tell these deep stories and putting characters on screen that never would interact and stuff. And I started gaining a fan base and a following based off of that. And during that time, I started working on films and working with other people, and then networking with other people and interviewing people. And it just continued to grow over time. And then as I got out of the military, I was able to focus fully on doing that. And that's that plus video editing is like the full-time thing now, which the hours are much better than the military's. I'll say that.
Yes.
So now you had gotten into all of the comic book stuff well before the wrestling in the military.
Yeah, I was always a comic book fan. I mean, even since I was a little kid, I was always into that kind of stuff. So, and obviously, you guys remember back in that time frame, it wasn't cool to be a geek, and now it's became almost cool. Like, it's so different because I'm used to, like, as a kid going to school, people being like, you like Superman or you like whatever, just like total like bullying type of situation. And now it's changed for everyone in a sense as a geek. Stranger Things, The Boys, Invincible, MCU, DC, everything is out there, and everyone loves it. So very different.
So what was your top DC and top Marvel comics of choice? Your number one for each.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think for Marvel, it'd probably be Civil War, the first one. Okay. And then for DC, it's definitely Kingdom Come. I love that story.
That's a good book.
I love that story.
I'm going to go ahead and share so people can follow you on Twitter.
Okay.
This is his Twitter name, his handle, and his link. You guys can follow him and follow what's going on with his channel and with his campaign for making this film. I was very impressed. You went to 10,000 really quickly, and you're already at 11. Yeah, you're at 11K right now.
Yeah.
And let me share that too. By the way, if you guys are curious about how to get to his campaign, if you look in the video description for the YouTube channel, it's the very top link in the description to go check out his campaign. And hey, look who just joined us, Dork Knight.
I smell cabbage.
All right, fucking do it. God damn it. Let's see, I'm gonna stop sharing. This is his Twitter account, and you can see all the stuff that's on there right now. Look at this shit.
Are there nudes?
Let's look at the Superman. Well, you don't know. His penis might be there. You don't know. It's a super wiener. And there's of course our links. Smallville High School. You're getting a lot of attention. I like this. I really like this, man.
Okay, back to the wrestling. Nobody cares about that. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
You are below me.
So your favorite is Qui-Gon Jinn?
Oh, I just shared it because he's one of our collaborators on our project, and he made a really cool poster. My favorite's Obi-Wan if we're talking about Star Wars. Yeah.
Okay.
Which Obi-Wan?
Oh, here's a photo
the character
of
as a whole. Yeah.
Here's the actor playing Superman. What's his name?
Glenn Keane.
Wow.
It's a good costume. Who designed the costume?
Unmasked Studios and Tilly FX are the actual ones who finalized the work, and then I had two other people who put together from concept art to building towards actually getting the suit, and it was a very, very long process to get it from concept to reality. It was very, very long, and about a year of pre-production before we announced anything. So it was a lot of work. Yeah.
Outstanding, dude. Outstanding. Good work.
Yeah.
So, Script Doctor, I was hoping was going to be here, but there is a question that is on a lot of people's minds
Okay.
because we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
What's the story?
Well, I'm not going to give away everything because it's a very
Now, basic synopsis.
yeah. The kind of driving point idea is, what happens when you take a being who can move the planet and you put him into a situation where none of those powers can help resolve what's going on. This movie will heavily touch on the human side of Superman. It'll heavily touch on real things that people go through dealing with mental health. It'll definitely capitalize on, and we are going to have those exciting Superman moments as well. Like you can fully expect to see his powers used. Somebody asked that, or is he going to use his powers? Yeah, his powers are going to be used, and everything in the movie we've came up with a rhyme or a reason for how they work in our universe. We've done extensive backstories on things like why this person has this train of thought going into it. We want everything to have a reason, opposed to just, oh yeah, that's how it is, because it's very much our own universe based around Superman. But yeah, the big thing is just putting Superman in situations where his powers can't resolve them is always the most interesting to me, and they never do it enough with him in live action media. So yeah,
That's fantastic. So here is the campaign page, and look at that already.
Wow.
You're 45% just within a few days, man.
yeah. The thing with running campaigns, I've worked on them before, and it's like the biggest thing is you pretty much treat promoting it and sharing it like a job.
It is a job.
Yeah, where the goal every day is to reach new people who haven't heard about it, who might want to contribute. And on the days where you have a slow day with not a lot of donations, and the days where you have a good day with lots of donations, you still have to keep that same mentality of sharing it. You can't get discouraged, or you can't get over hyped where you're like, oh, we got this. Like, you just have to keep that same, let's keep going. Because a lot of people have been like, oh, you guys got this. And I'm like, we'll see. I'm doing my best. We're putting in work. We're doing everything we can to reach new people. And it's been exciting, and it's been great that so many people are responsive already to it.
That's fantastic. And of course, the gentleman playing Superman, Clark Kent, is a U.S. Army veteran too.
Yes.
And but I was really impressed with this one. You got Aaron Smolinski.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. Happy it
He
worked
was
out.
young. He was baby Clark.
He was baby Clark. He's also the kid in Superman 3 who gets the when Superman goes into the phone booth and he has the pictures that got taken and he rips off the pictures. He's that kid as well. And then he's in Man of Steel as well, behind a lot of the main cast during the Zod.
The military,
yeah. So yeah, it's super exciting that worked out, and fingers crossed, God willing, more things like that in the future to be announced, as long as things work out the way that we're trying. So, yeah.
Now he's bald, so is he gonna be Lex?
Lex isn't in the film. Everyone keeps saying that Lex isn't in the film.
Okay, that's all right.
No Lex Luthor, which is funny
Well,
because
so
you're like,
far
oh, it's Lex.
cinematically.
Like, no Lex, because my philosophy is you can do Superman without Lex, but you can't do Lex without Superman. So
Yeah, and so far we still haven't cinematically gotten a comic accurate Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
One day it'll happen. But well, this is very exciting. And guys, if you want to be a part of this, go to the link is down in the video description. And I really do love this costume. It's really cool looking. That's some real work went into that.
Wow,
it's just very cool. And I like that you're dipping into the pool of your veteran buddies. Because I do that all the time too.
Well, my biggest thing with working, because I've worked on lots of different projects over the years, and each project you learn something new. Either I'm going to do this way next time, or I'm not going to do this way next time. And every time you learn something new. And with this, I tried to bring as many people as I worked on that I enjoyed working with onto this project, or people I knew I could trust. And one of the things with Glenn, bringing him on as a veteran that I know, that I've worked together with many times on other things, is that I know vets in general, there's going to be no complaining about changes, about long days, things like that. So he's been committed all the way from the start with that. So that's been just
in fact, most veterans have a tendency of finding it funny the things that people complain about. And we're like
no,
my buddy got back from Iraq. He was over there with the 72nd Stryker Brigade. And he says he came back and first thing he did when he got home was go to McDonald's. And he just thought it was so weird. This guy was complaining about too much ice in his soda.
Right.
He's like, the shit you guys fucking complain about, man. You have no idea how fucking lucky we got it.
That's funny.
But I get it, because like when I did my book, I'm still doing it, Vindicated, almost everybody that worked with me on that project is a military veteran, combat veteran, and every single one of them has combat related PTSD. But there was one funny moment, because like I don't know if you've ever run into this, where because if you're writing something, we have a tendency of romancing this down, right? Where we make the character a little bit of who we are.
Yeah.
We put a little of ourself in there. And I had a buddy of mine that wanted to take over writing on my own book. And he's like, I think it's stupid the character did that. And I think it's ridiculous. Nobody would say that. And my response was, one, I would say that. Two, I have said that and done that.
Right.
And it was one of those Seinfeld moments where, the guy that played Costanza was complaining about, nobody would do this. And the guy that wrote the character, I forget his name, he had his own show.
Larry David.
Larry David says, I did do that, and I did say that. And the actor, Jason Alexander, just shut the hell up and just played the part. Stop complaining. You ever run into that?
No, not so much. When it comes, not too much with that. A lot of things there's a few things with certain characters, but not Superman specific that I ever put any of my own personal stuff in there. I put that into other characters.
Can I ask a question about your Indiegogo?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm actually not that familiar with Indiegogo. It looks like Kickstarter. Is it
very similar?
Is it all or nothing like Kickstarter?
Indiegogo is better for independents like us. Comic books and movies.
But is it an all or nothing like Kickstarter?
No. So you can opt to be an all or nothing, or you can do flexible funding. And I did flexible funding because we'll keep what we raise, and that's why we have our milestones. If you do,
but you also can continue the campaign.
Yes.
Can continue
if you do get fully funded, you can get into extended funding.
Okay.
But I did flexible funding to be on the safe side, because I would hate to say we got at 23,000 and that's where it peaks. It's like, wow, we were almost there, and now I don't get any of it. It all goes back and we don't make anything.
Yeah, that's why Kickstarter sucks.
Yeah, and for us being so all in already with all the work we did making the suit, we're making something regardless, and that's why we have our milestones down at the bottom of the campaign that kind of explain what happens based on how much is raised in each section, kind of thing.
So because Man of Tomorrow is sold out, when you click on it, it doesn't tell you what you get with that. And I was just curious because you've got 5 slots for a $5,000 donation, but only 2 for $1,000. And I felt I was thinking aren't you kind of limiting you
can't, because they are props, and I can't have an unlimited number of props, or somebody ends up getting a sheet of paper.
Okay.
It's
well, see, I said, I couldn't click
sucks.
on it to see what it was, because they were already sold out.
And that's the thing with those, is that there's specific things that it's I couldn't justify. There's not a unlimited number of screen worn Clark Kent glasses that will be able to.
But there wasn't more than 2 things, because I feel like I almost feel like you kind of limit yourself by only having $2,000 slots, whereas you've got 5 $5,000 slots and 10.
It hasn't limited us, because it hasn't limited us at all, and as a whole.
Okay.
But we spent a lot of time picking what we did for our things, and the biggest thing is that it has exclusives for specific ones that are limited for a reason, because we don't have an unlimited number.
You should add another one for exactly $1,000, and dinner with Andrew.
Oh, that's worth more than that, but anyway.
Well, they got to pay for it too. They got to pay for it.
Once we circle back around, because I was late, I have more questions than I'm sure the rest of the panel would care for me to ask about wrestling. So as you can tell, I've got my Bret the Hitman Hart shirt on.
It. Well, once we get the first hour done,
got my
you
Bret
can only
Hart
commit, as
here.
you said, Andrew, for an hour. But if you do stick around, we can get back more into some of the stuff you've done, because I find you very interesting.
It's just about an hour probably as a whole. I wish I could stay longer, but I have other stuff I have commitments to today. But I definitely can do the full hour with you guys.
Yeah, because I've got some stuff going on myself. Because everybody knows that I do a lot of gay stuff. See my gay stuff there? I'm gay. I'm so gay.
Pride Month is over, bro. Come
He
on.
gets
I-
paid
I'm-
to not.
I am
show
gay for
himself.
this show. I'm gay for Pat S.
Oh, darn it. I forgot. I don't know if any
Pat
of you
S
guys...
is our producer. He is
Uh-huh.
in the chat. Pat S says, Pop Culture Minefield, hi, Gary. And I say back to Pat, fuck you, Pat. Where were you? I needed you earlier.
Did any of you guys watch the latest episode of The Orville?
Yeah, of course.
I forgot I was going to come on topless because it's the first day of the month, and I was going to say it's my religion, you know. But
Oh, my God. That was so fucking funny.
I totally forgot.
She's like, put some pants on. You know, and it really deals with something that we dealt with in the military is, you know, because we, you know, in the military, certain things were acceptable. Like even when I was in, if you're a Sikh, you're allowed to wear the turban
Yeah.
and have your beard. But in fact, if you weren't able to shave, and a lot of the black guys I served with,
Shaving
their
profile.
skin was overly sensitive.
Yeah.
And they would offer two things. You're offered, if you can't shave, then the other thing was to use a depilatory. And if that is because that burns some people, their skin's too sensitive. And then after that, you get what's called a medical profile, permanent.
Yeah.
And you don't have to ever shave again in the military. And
Yeah.
you'll meet motherfuckers with these big fucking crazy mountain man beards. And I'd look at them like, what the fuck? And someone goes, yeah, they got a medical profile. And I'm like, medical profile them out of the military? That's fucking disconcerting seeing that fucking beard. But then you got spec ops guys, special forces.
Yeah.
And there was a period of time where the military is very lenient with them, where they could have beards, but not me. You couldn't go past the corner of your fucking mouth. And I looked like Adolf Hitler, so I just stopped doing it. Did they have that rule you're in?
The biggest thing that changed is that if they have a shaving profile, they can't grow out like a full beard. It still has to be maintained,
Trimmed,
but
yeah.
they don't have to shave straight to the skin and cause like the bumps and stuff like that. But I knew lots of guys.
Yeah,
that
oh,
had
it's
shaving
terrible.
profiles.
One of my buddies, he would get these.
Yeah, people really had it. It would
almost
be
like
bad.
cysts.
It'd be very bad.
Yeah, they were like cysts under his jawline. I'm like, God damn.
The unfortunate thing is a lot of people abuse it and get the profile if they don't really need it, because the doctors will just say, "Sure, yeah, here you go. Here's a profile."
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that, other than the fact that I learned in basic training that if your BC glasses are uncomfortable, all you have to do is say, "These hurt my eyes," or they're giving me a headache, or I can't see quite right in them. They let you wear your civilians. So
Nice.
I wore these fucking glasses.
Yeah.
When I was in the Army, I was walking around like Radar O'Reilly, and my best friend John Davis, he was from Chicago. Yeah, one of these voices. What's up, brother? And he sounded like a late night radio host, and he had the Kumo D glasses. The
It sounded like 24/7 Fusion Media.
Well, that's 24/7 sounds like my buddy John Davis from the Army, and I actually do an impression of 24 to his face. He's seen me do it. He'll go, "Yo, man, what's up?" And I'll go, "Nothing, man." And somebody made the joke because Keith said something real blackified one time, and somebody joked, "How come Gary's black guy sounds more black than Keith?"
Thank you very much.
Keith's a nerd, that's why.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
But you're a nerd too, and I can see it by everything behind you.
Oh yeah.
So this isn't just a passion for making film. This is a passion about Superman.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
how big of a fan are you of Superman? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most
Pretty
Superman.
big scale. No, I would say I'm pretty high up there on the scale.
I'm an 11, mate.
No, I mean I would say like in terms of he's number one in terms of like comic book characters for me, and he always has been. It's like him, big gap, and then there's my number two, and so forth on the way down. But yeah, I've always been drawn to the character. As a kid, it was exciting for the powers and stuff like that, and as I got older, it was his care for humanity and things like that is what kept drawing me back to the character.
Have you visited Jerry Siegel's home in Cleveland?
I have not visited it. No, I have not.
Oh, you should go. Being a Superman fan, you should go.
Somehow he had to slip in Ohio again.
What are you talking about? It's a mecca
No, that's
if you
cool.
want to visit where
Fine.
Superman was created.
Yeah, it's
That's
where the
cool.
Justice League building is from Super Friends.
Nice. No, that's
But
cool.
the one I was hoping you were asking about is Smallville in Illinois.
Oh,
because-
you talking about Metropolis Celebration?
Metropolis, Illinois.
Yeah, I've been there one time. I would love to go back.
I
Yeah.
liked it. I like the big statue. I like the little museum. It was a lot of fun. I like going there. Turn back around. Let me see that Superman costume. Is that the one from your movie?
No, it is not. It is a Christopher Reeve era replica suit. And yeah, there's Captain America, my number 2 over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you
Very
cosplay,
cool.
or are those simply
No,
decor?
I don't cosplay.
Those are replicas. They're just made to be there.
Yeah.
Creep people the F out.
Oh, it creeps my wife out for the longest time when we got those mannequins. She'd be like, "Holy!" Like every time she opened the door or something.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
I would show it to you right now. There's a mannequin to the left of me. I hate. It's not mine. It's my wife's.
Well, I
hate that thing.
I'm in a charity where people cosplay, and I was in a different one where they did that for 8 years. Visit kids in hospitals and different
That's
places
awesome.
like that. And I knew a lot of them that would keep their suits on mannequins like that, and they were buying like movie quality. Like I could show you some pictures. They're dropping thousands of dollars on these suits because they want kids to suspend disbelief. They want the little kids to believe they're really them.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why I was asking. It wasn't too
Gotcha.
far-fetched, guys.
Now here's an important question, and I think Keith would like this question because I think it's important to understand Superman.
Mhm.
And the only director I think that ever understood Superman was Richard Donner, and he made the statement: the only way to depict Superman and get the character right, he has to be a Boy Scout.
Yeah, he also said one. I'm going to paraphrase the quote, but Richard Donner said a quote about the way you make a good comic book movie is you respect the source material and you take the source material seriously, and that's a very, very good outlook on any media. If you're making a Super Mario movie,
Well, you've won me over.
Legend of Zelda, whatever. It wouldn't matter, Yeah, so for me, it's just that they never really explore his human side too often on screen. They always explore Superman has superpowers and he's fighting and it's exciting, and we are going to have plenty of that. But the thing that makes Superman is his humanity based on how the Kents raise him and the person he becomes because of that. And they've had glimpses of it here and there throughout media, but it's never been a focal point of putting Superman in those kind of situations. The most they ever do is, let's take away his powers and see what he does. And it's like, well, that's just boring because now he's just a guy. So I've always looked at it like,
Is that boring though? Because not to crap on your favorite. I'm guessing Superman's your favorite.
yeah,
I've never been a huge Superman fan because he's just too damn OP. He's just,
And like that, he left the show. No.
So I have a large disagreement with that because people always say that Superman. Because let me guess, you're going to say Superman's not relatable, right? A lot of people have that outlook.
no, I'm not saying he's not relatable because there's actually a lot of things that are relatable. I just think that in the comics, the only thing that could I can't remember which one was introduced first, Kryptonite or Magic, but he couldn't do Jack against Magic. And
Anything
Kryptonite,
supernatural.
yeah, and Kryptonite was his weakness. And really, if he wasn't such a Boy Scout, he would just he'd be completely unbeatable. The only reason you ever watch those, I can't remember who did it, but it was it's a YouTuber makes a bunch of different super battles and it lets people vote on it. And there was a Superman versus Goku one.
Yeah,
Bat in the Sun videos.
Okay, they do that. Okay, so the only reason, this one was animated. The only reason
Death Battle.
Goku, yeah, I think it's Death Battle.
Yes,
the only
Death
reason
Battle.
Goku won is because Superman wouldn't cross the line, would not kill Goku.
Well, it's what Batman's
that's-
always used against him because he knew he wouldn't give him 100%.
Yeah.
But see that Superman will kill when it's absolutely necessary. That's a
Doomsday.
oneness thing. Yeah, when it's absolutely necessary, he will. And to me, the thing that makes Superman interesting is because he has that Boy Scout, that moral ground about wanting to save at all costs. That's what makes him not boring in the sense of how people without the Kents and the way he's raised them and his care for humanity and his true empathy for what people go through, he becomes Homelander. He becomes Omni-Man.
Yeah.
So the fact The fact
Yeah.
that or Superman Red Sun.
Red Sun.
yeah.
Or even Superman All-Star, where he goes to almost that point but doesn't. But
Well, the All Star's the one where he has
wait,
cancer.
what's not All-Star.
It's not
the one
All-Star.
where he's fighting the other ones, the Brit
Injustice, maybe? Are you thinking like Evil
No,
Injustice?
the one where he blinds the dude almost. He actually destroys the nerve endings in the brain, so the guy can't use his abilities anymore with his. Not All-Star. The other one against the Fabulous Five, whatever it was. Oh, come on.
Fatal Five.
If
The Fatal
only
Five,
you
yeah.
had at your fingertips and means to look up.
Yeah, it's called my
information.
middle finger when you try to be smartass. But I wanted to quickly touch on what you're saying about Superman is relatable. It's not that every kid wants to be a hero. It's the fact that it branches off ideals. Like especially like if you can't save everyone, you want to protect your younger siblings and stuff like that. It's the one that doing a good deed a day, even if it's not saving a life, you're still doing something good that makes someone else for that moment who might be going and having a bad day, feeling like they're acknowledged, and that little bit of respect can help out. There's so many things that are relatable. It's not, oh, you're not from Krypton, you can't relate. Oh, you're not this skin color, you can't relate. Oh, you're not of this gender, you can't relate. That's
Yeah,
crap that needs to go.
Superman. It's never been relatability. It's been that, like, if you think about it logically, nobody can beat him. You know what I mean?
No, but okay, but what I was saying
See
is
that, and that's why I'm the way that we're going with this is what happens when you put him in a situation where 0 of those powers stop the outcome.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
So he had
and
to face
that's
that with Jonathan.
And that's
when his dad dies.
Yeah, it's a good example.
He had to confront the fact that I can, do all this. I could lift the planet.
Yeah, and that
physically,
exactly.
But I can't save my dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to ask, what did you think of Bryan Singer's Superman Returns?
Superman had like less dialogue than we've talked about in this entire show. He didn't have enough to think. They didn't know how to write Superman in that. He doesn't say it that much.
He just ends up being this creepy guy hanging out some sad lady's house.
And that's the thing too. They tried to like continue it from the Donner universe, which I'm not opposed to an idea like that, but their execution was very bizarre. Like he technically has a 5-year-old kid and he's been gone for 5 years, meaning Lois was literally about to give birth and he's like, hey, I gotta leave. The most non-Superman moment you could ever write. Like him abandoning his pregnant like girlfriend, wife, whatever she was.
Well, that couldn't be the case because in that movie he had no clue that about the kid.
He has X-ray vision and she was pregnant, and he left the kid's 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's like
that is a mistake.
And we know that in the Donner universe he looked at her underwear.
Yeah, it's just a bad. They should have not done that, and they should have just done their own.
But
Superman
I will
story,
say this: it has one of the best Superman moments. And I challenge any Superman fan to say that they weren't emotional when he fucking saves that plane.
Oh no, that plane sequence is awesome. They have great visuals in that movie. I mean, all the visuals are great.
Statistically, it's still the safest way to travel.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he nailed Christopher Reeve's Superman, and he looks a little like him, and I like that.
I like that he got more to do with the character in the Crisis event, regardless of not everything making sense, but it was awesome.
Brandon Routh,
yeah, it was great seeing him back, and man, he looked great in the suit again. So,
but
awesome.
he did, but man, it was so sad in the Crisis event. So we're supposed to believe that the Christopher Reeves universe, all of those people got killed by the Joker.
Yeah,
that was such a bummer, man.
Yeah. I thought they were going to do something like that since
one
he
of
was
the
wearing
many
the Kingdom Come suit.
reasons
I
despise Greg Berlanti. That's a guy that doesn't fucking understand Superman.
I know. I got the reference.
Yeah.
Superman Lives.
Oh, yeah.
That was a plot point in Superman Lives.
Yep.
I got the reference.
Now the real battle is, will Godzilla kick Superman's ass?
Man, he would destroy a kaiju.
He would. He just like use laser vision him in half.
Let me at least ask you this: do you agree with the explanation by Siegel and Schuster that Superman is a science fiction story?
I think maybe when they wrote it, it was a science fiction story, and I think
from its beginnings, he's an alien.
But I think nowadays it's so much deeper than that, because it's the him coming from Krypton doesn't play a huge factor in every single thing he does once he's on Earth.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he has his heritage and he has his abilities, but so many of the things he deals with are about planet Earth and defending the planet.
Yeah. Right.
No, I don't mean in the sense of him coming, of him just being an alien.
The
I
property
mean, they were
itself.
big science fiction fans.
Yeah,
And so
I don't see it as
It's
science
the only
fiction.
thing that makes it sci-fi.
Say
is
what?
that he's an
Yeah.
alien.
I don't see it as science fiction,
Yeah.
like
It
related.
really-
I think
I
it would
don't
be
know.
more science fiction if it was literally the upcomings of the cyborg Superman, because then it would be more science fiction. Because technically, it's
Well-
Superman dressed as RoboCop, and you'd have to deal with that kind of way.
Let me explain. For
Okay.
them growing up, science fiction was one of the most exciting things that you can get into. And as a genre, there were a lot more people reading it, wanting to experience it.
Mhm.
For them, especially
Hi, Enema.
for Jerry Siegel, he was always trying to come up with science fiction type things.
Mhm.
And so in creating Superman, that was his key way in telling that story, and then in relating a lot of the adventures that they would have thereafter.
Pat, you know,
Because
two
this
Jews
is
invented
all
Superman. Come on.
pre-comic book and superheroes, because this is really the first one. So for them, I mean, there wasn't anything like what it is now. So the competition to write this stuff and various other things have changed it over the years, including Hollywood's influence on the character in altering it and giving us Kryptonite,
Yeah.
which was from the radio series, and various other things. But initially, it was just
Yeah,
a
because it was
science
funny
fiction.
finding out that was canon, that the radio show was canon.
Yeah, and so when you consider it from their point of view of creating it and what they went through to do that, all I'm saying is that really gets lost a lot. He is a man. He's not quite human, but he is a man. From
He's more
Kansas.
human than a lot of people who are.
Yeah,
human.
he's more human than a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that part of it is a part of him. And if you get lost too much in just the human side of it, you get lost in the weeds a lot. Because what makes him unique is the whole of who he is and not just parts. It's the same thing that if you pay too much attention to him being an alien, you lose that part. It's not.
I'm going to do a
this
hard
more
disagree because the humanity is the
Yeah,
key
yeah,
thing that
it's
makes
part of what he
Superman-
grew up with. But I mean, my thing is you got to have both parts, or else it doesn't make any. For one thing, he doesn't have any powers if he doesn't have his.
Well,
alien
yeah, I mean that's
heritage.
absolutely a piece of it.
Yeah.
But I think the humanity aspect is what makes Superman Superman, and
So-
it's one of the most.
No. When I say the alien, I'm not saying that you can't have his humanity. I'm saying both parts play a part in who he is.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean,
and so both
just like Batman
parts,
being a billionaire is part of his. it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to be,
that's like part of who he is. It's
Yeah.
not really who he is.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Superman. You know, you've got to balance those both parts to really understand the character, which is really what their point of view was.
Yeah.
Although we become more enamored with telling that story because that's what we know. We don't really know any aliens from any different worlds as far as we know.
Michael
So
Jackson.
That's the part that that's the part that we really get into. You know, that's what
right,
I was
well.
saying.
Since we probably only got him about another 10 minutes, Andrew, I just followed you
Appreciate it.
on Twitter so we can DM each other if you get back at me, because I would love to keep talking to you about
Don't do
stuff,
it.
because we're not going to have
Block,
enough.
block.
Shut up.
Hey,
But I did
one
want to
last
say.
thing, man.
Super.
Thank you for your service, though. Thank
Yeah.
you for being creative and wanting to do this character justice.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
And I also want to say thank you for futurely muting Dork Knight from any DM.
We rib each other a lot if you haven't figured it out. That's,
a little bit.
you,
a little
you
bit.
can't be my friend unless you're ready to shit on
Yeah.
on each other.
Now,
And-
there is sorry.
And the more I shit on you, clearly the more I like you.
No, it's fine.
There is one question though, and I want to ask you as a general. Do you think from BVS? Do you think they really screwed up the imagery and the delivery of Doomsday and gave us pretty much
Oh.
Mr. Potato Head with
Oh,
the
yeah,
crystal
yeah.
meth problem?
Stop giving him these softball questions.
No,
I got
I-
a real question.
No, I
Softball
thought-
question.
I thought Doomsday's execution is one of the things I despised about that movie. A lot of people hate the movie completely, and I'm not one of those people. But the Doomsday, it should have been comic book Doomsday if they were going to do it. It should have been straight up.
It should have been the whole film.
Doomsday. Yeah, and that should have been the whole thing. Yeah, I not
A
not
better
crazy about the
adaptation
execution.
of the death of Superman. I agree
Yeah,
with
exactly.
you.
That's it.
Yeah.
You could have had the whole Justice League.
I
in
am
there.
going to put it in the chat again, guys. If you want to
Yeah.
back this project, go check it out. Here's the link
Yeah.
in the chat. Go check it out. There you go.
Yeah.
Um,
So Can I ask another question?
No.
I've been trying to ask. I'm not asking you, Steven. So,
I am a co-host though, so I'm saying no.
oh, okay. Well, say hello to your mother for me. Tell her I appreciated it last
She's
night.
dead,
Great.
Nork. We've been here before.
Jeez, dude.
Oh, yeah, I know. See, that's how
grave
dark I am.
robber.
I'm just like, so do you find it fascinating, or do you think they had some kind of like pipeline vision into the future that basically Krypton is Earth, like maybe not even 1,000 years from now, a few hundred years from now, because like what causes Krypton to destroy is they raped it of all of its natural resources, and it became unstable, right? You know, it's basically
it depends on the version, but that is one of the versions they've used.
So I don't know when that version came out, but I feel like if it was definitely before what we know now to be happening, I almost feel like it was prophetic in a way. What are your thoughts on that? As far as like, since Keith was bringing up the science fiction part, which really only the science fiction part is Krypton, and it didn't feel that science fiction to me because by the time I'm reading Superman, you know, Earth Day is already huge in the 80s. The CFCs thing is already huge in the 80s. You got I think it's Margaret Thatcher who was spearheading all the ozone stuff, you know, that finally made its way
All
over
the
to
crack,
America.
cocaine.
Not all that. I'm talking about global warming. Anyways, Andrew, go ahead.
I think it's a realistic outcome of a possibility of how a planet could come to its demise. And I mean, I've liked all the I've liked the idea of that they kill themselves going to war with each other. That's a realistic way a planet could destroy itself. And I thought all their solutions to why it happens are all good and all realistic enough that they could happen, opposed to just like, oh, for some reason the planet's going to blow up today. Like, you know, that wouldn't be much of a selling point. So,
well, then I guess I need to do some research. Like, what was the Simon and Schuster reason for Krypton's destruction? Do we know?
That was so long ago. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, no, I have
you
to
know
Google
what? The reasoning was the fact. First of all, 1938. The thing about really Jerry Siegel, more than anything else, was the fact that, you know, he was trying to make the explanation of the Superman, the Uberman, okay? And the only way that you could tell that story was as a science fiction story. A lot of young men at that time, that if you were anywhere into anything like that, you were reading Asimov, and you were reading Burroughs' adventure stories, and you were reading all kinds of science fiction of the day in order to get to that explanation. And the only comic book that even rivaled Superman within the first 2 to 3 years was a comic book that did the same thing but used magic rather than science fiction. And that was Captain Marvel.
Now, there was two questions here, I guess, from Gap Stargate, a good friend of this channel. And I haven't had a chance to say hi to everybody because I knew we only had you for an hour. And we're going to continue the show once you leave.
Gotcha.
Then we're going to talk behind your back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna tell Dork to like just relax and have a conversation.
Let's see. The first question let's see. What characteristics of Superman do you put into the film? Do you put all of them or do you put some of them?
I think for the most part, most of it's there. The one thing that we've pushed away from is allowing him to have Jor-El in his back pocket, because I feel like Superman having that in his back pocket right out the gate lets him have so many answers, and it's much more interesting for him to not have that initially, because you can just go, hey, Dad, what do I do with this? Oh, well, let me look into the thousands of databases and knowledge and external information about X, Y, and Z. So I found it much more interesting for him to know he's not from Earth, but not know exactly where he's from. To not know all of these details yet, because it allows him to really be himself and not go, oh, my dad told me everything about me. I know who I'm supposed to be. Cool. Now I'm good. Any problem that comes up, I can just fly to the fortress, chat with Jor-El, and be on my way. So I thought that
unless you're on Superman and Lois, and then it's also Mom.
Well,
yeah.
I just looked it up, and unfortunately, the Simon and Schuster, when they were created Krypton.
Siegel.
Did I say Siegel? Sorry.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you keep saying Simon.
I say yeah.
It's
yeah, dude
Seagal,
keeps-
damn it.
It's Siegel and yeah, Schuster. I don't know why. I keep
That's
saying
okay. We forgive your ignorance.
So I'm just misremembering, to quote a famous president. So Krypton was exploded due to like just old age, which is a terrible thing. And then
now in the past,
Actually,
you
it
didn't
was
have
just
these big
supernova in one
details.
version.
right.
You
Well,
need
that's
all
what I'm
the
saying.
details
I'm
back
saying
then.
in their
Yeah.
first, like because the Krypton is first introduced when it's destroyed, and the only reason, and I'm reading this from the Superman wiki, and the only reason apparently that they gave was just that the planet had run its course, and just it was too old, which that's a bummer. I was kind of hoping they were being prophetic, but I guess that probably happened much later. I'm not.
Yeah, because
Well,
you got to
the
think in that
science-
time frame they didn't have to explain everything. People weren't going, where does he put his Clark Kent clothes? Where does he like? They were just like, yeah, he's Superman now. Okay, cool. Like,
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, he changed, but where the fuck are they? Where's his clothes?
yeah,
But I do want to point out that one of the things I liked about the motion picture back in '78 was the fact that there's actually a little bit of science involved here, that they lived under a red dwarf.
Yeah.
That was on the verge of, and you live under that sun, you see that sun your entire existence, and you think, well, that's just the way it is. And that's where Jor-El was the scientist that was saying, look, everything's about to collapse. This is ending for us. And we have one shot to leave. And that opportunity was passed. So now I'm going to take advantage of it and use the original thing I made and send my kid off, because he'll be the only thing that survives this planet, or anybody in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
Because Phantom Zone will continue.
Mm-hmm.
But is the Phantom Zone in yours?
There's no mention of the Phantom Zone, but I wouldn't say that it couldn't be out there. I wouldn't say that, but there's no mention of it specifically.
So here's another question from Gap. Second request: how long is the Solar movie going to be?
Well, that would be completely depending on funding. If we reach the goal entirely, a little over an hour. If we somehow get into extended funding, then we will talk about extending it further and further, depending on the funding, to eventually be theatrical.
It's not a feature film until it hits between 60 and 70 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But your plan is to make a feature film.
If again, I keep saying it's completely dependent on funding, because I can't say, yeah, we're going to do that if we don't get close to the goal or reach the goal.
Here's the trick. Are you ready? Really long intros and outros.
No.
Do the classic Richard Donner.
No,
10-minute fucking intro, 10-minute outro. That's 20 minutes, man. It's 20 fucking minutes.
I like the fact that as a fan yourself, you're getting to put your own spin on it, and so I'm more than interested to see what you're going to come up with.
Thank you.
This is very exciting. I mean, and I'm very excited for you.
Thank you.
And last question by Gap Stargate is, what made you decide to do a Superman Solar movie?
I've had the idea in my head for doing a Superman movie specifically for probably 10 years off and on. I'd be writing down ideas and just putting them away. And then, like I said, last year, I was like, you know what? I should just go for it full send.
You were doing this while you were in the Army? When you were supposed to be doing your job?
Oh, yeah. And downtime all the time. Always writing in my phone or a notepad. Yeah, ideas that would come to me. And then basically when it came to writing the script, I put it all out there. And then some stuff obviously didn't make it when you're polishing a story. And then a lot of stuff worked out well. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. And I'm just really excited to tell this story. And it's crazy. We've been in pre-production. It's been so long of not being able to mention anything at all. Like, just keeping our mouth shut, like having the suit at my house, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't wait to be able to finally show all this stuff that we're working on.
Yeah, you're a nerd. You can tell you're a nerd.
You could have told before I said anything. Look at my background.
Yeah, I saw your wall, and I'm like, oh god, we got another fucking nerd. What era medium will you be drawing inspiration from? This is from our friend John Duswolfen. Forgive me if this has been answered. I got in late, but no, we have not discussed it, John. So what is it, Andrew? What era?
It'll be taking place in like our day and age as a whole. But in terms of comics inspiration, All-Star Superman and Superman Grounded are the heaviest things that I've taken inspiration from. And then a lot of it is just things I've always wished they would have done with the character and put and utilize situations, and then I kind of expanded upon that from there. So.
Oh, very good. All right, we have reached the end of your hour, and
Thank you for having me.
Now, if we were already friends, I would tell you to fuck off, but I'm not going to do that because we don't know each other well enough yet. Or I don't know, your army. I could probably say it to you, and you would go, "Fuck yeah."
You say whatever you want. It's your show. It doesn't matter to me. I've been called worse.
So no, I'm not going to tell you that, but it's really nice meeting you, Andrew. I'm glad we had you on. I'd like to have you on some more during the campaign. Get you on, just do a report, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Also talk to you some more because I'm sure people are really curious about who is this guy, and just what does he like? Does he like spaghetti, Chinese food? What's his favorite food? And
Pizza.
I was in the Army and
So
I was at Fort Hood for we were there for a field training exercise, and there was a Safeway right off the base. And I went to that store and I discovered that California Safeways have Chinese food. And that's where I got my first serving of General Tso's chicken, was from the Chinese restaurant inside of Safeway. And I remember going back to the base going, I will never eat anything else. This is the best thing I've ever had.
I can't imagine when you had it from like a legit
Right.
establishment.
Yeah. Now, here's another question for you before you go.
Okay.
Favorite MRE?
Meatball marinara.
That's a good
Okay.
one. That's a
Solid.
good one.
Hitman, Bret Hart, or Shawn Michaels. That's it.
Bret Hart, if he never got the injuries that happened to him in life and all those things that he went through. If he was still wrestling today, it'd be Bret all the way. That's kind of how I look at it. Shawn never had that happen to him, so he's able to have a long career because of that.
Yeah, but we both agree Bret Hart is like arguably the GOAT, right?
He's one of the GOATs, for sure.
Okay.
One of
okay.
the GOATs.
All right. I'll take
All
it.
right.
I'll accept that. Thank you.
This is your outro, sir. Tell us more about where we can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, A-List Productions. I typed in the chat earlier. And all my other social medias, it's at A-List-LK, the same thing that's below my name over here. And the LK is actually my wrestling name initials, since we talked about wrestling. That's where that comes from in my name. The campaign, we have donations starting at $1. You don't have to sign up to donate if you want to contribute. And if you can't contribute at all, just share with a friend, a family member, anyone that you think might be interested in looking at our project, checking out what we have going on. And yeah, every donation matters, and every donation helps us get closer to the goal. Like, I've had people message me and say, sorry, I could only give $5. Nope, that's awesome, because $5 means you believe in the project and you believe in me, and that matters to me. So it is very appreciated. So thanks for having me on, guys.
I'm going to share the solo page again. Share. There we are. And this is his page. The link
out everywhere
is in the video description. Go check it out. If you want to support it, want to share it, no matter what, please do. I cannot believe I'm proud that you're doing this, dude. It's really awesome.
You rock, man.
Yeah.
You rock.
Yeah, everybody give up for Andrew. Come on.
Yes,
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. Too kind.
Just remember to make the sequel after your success, Superman versus Twitter.
All right, then.
And it's statements like that is why you get paid the big dollars.
It's famous like that.
Nothing.
You wonder why I come back.
You get nothing. Andrew, thanks again for being here, man.
Yep.
Really glad to meet you.
Likewise.
Having you back on again. We do regular shows on Friday afternoon at 2 Central Time. What time zone are you in?
I'm in Central Time Zone.
So you're with us, 2 p.m. And then 12 noon on Saturdays.
Nice.
And we'd love to cover some more of what you're doing. Very excited about what you're doing.
Thank you.
And man, nice to meet another fellow vet.
Likewise.
Even though you were a military prick.
It's all good. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thanks
Take care.
for being here,
Nice,
man. Look
great
forward to
meeting
having
For
you.
your
you back.
service, young man.
Thank you for your
Thank you,
service,
guys.
sir.
You guys have a good rest of the show.
Here's the proper
Thanks.
salute, my friend.
Oh, yeah. All right. Take it easy, guys.
See you. That was fun.
He's a cool dude.
Damn, I hate I was late. Today has been weird for me.
What do you mean you were slate?
I said I hate that I was late.
You said you hate that you're a slate.
Stop fucking with me. No, I didn't. Anyway, I slept like
that was fun. I really liked him.
Yeah,
He's
cool.
He's cool. And obviously a geek. And married. Gosh.
Yeah,
You
you
know-
just use the word cool and geek in the same sentence. Just remember that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's no such thing. Cool for a geek.
Yes.
There, you can say that. So, deleted scenes. Did you have fun? What'd you think?
I did. I'm glad that somebody is trying to put some positive entertainment out there for once. We could use it.
Yeah, it's a fan film. And the thing that's sad about this is the minute you do a fan film, ever having a chance of working on the real thing is gone. And
Yeah, that's true too.
You know, you got to take that thing. Now, I want to finally address the chat. I'm going to go back and I want to say hi to everybody. I'm going to say hi. So there's Gap Stargate. How you doing, buddy? Let's see. Oh, Stephanie Beatty was here. Penny is here. Let's see. Who else? Who else is here? Anybody on the panel doesn't get mentioned. Parrothead, what is up, buddy? I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope all you did. I hope you guys had a good time watching that. Pat S., our producer. What is up, my friend? He says, I come here for Keith and leave because Gary is creepy. Das Waldron is here. Good to see you, buddy. Anime Confusa. I don't know if I know who that is. She. I think it's a she. That's female's eyes. But
Oh,
that's
new
right
to the
there.
party. Nice to have you,
So
Anime
welcome to
Confusa.
the show. Glad you're here. Let's see. Fuck Dork Knight. Fuck Martin. He's on the show. Kingsport Cal. Yes, always good to see you, man. And we're going to talk a little longer. Oh, shoot. That's right. Just recently, Floral showed up.
Anama's a friend of mine that followed here from Salty. She's really awesome. I got her,
Cool.
and I'm going to do a stream with her. About
Glad
it.
you joined. Hey, let's go ahead and talk about some of this stuff because we talked about it this morning, and I don't mind going back into it, treading over some previous because we're going to do it again tomorrow. We're going to talk about Orville, Superman. I mean, not Superman. We should talk about Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
I liked that, and that was the finale, wasn't it?
Yeah, season finale.
Yeah, season finale.
They did a nice setup for season 3. So
I haven't watched any of it yet. I'm saving
Only
it.
thing I've ever eaten from a gas station is what do you call those things? You buy a box of them from Walmart. They're like sandwiches, but they're completely enclosed. They have pizza. Oh my god, they're like
Like a Hot Pocket?
Hot Pocket, thank you. That's I would get the barbecue beef or the Philly steak and cheese Hot Pockets from gas stations because anything else I wouldn't trust.
Well,
It's like you're gonna say something?
yeah. Now that the CW just got sold off for a bag of Funyuns, where is Superman and Lois going to end up?
everything's going to
Probably
wind up
HBO Max.
on HBO Max because David Zaslav thought it was just better to have everything there rather than paying
One
for a
place.
network that hardly anybody's watching.
And if they're smart, they're going to offer a version of HBO Max with commercials. So you can get it cheaper and or for free. Let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, Hot Pockets, man. I'm telling you, the barbecue one was one of my faves. So what was that question I saw? Oh, here it is. Wait, you can be a geek and married?
Yes.
To the yeah.
You just got to find somebody willing to put up with your weirdness.
Oh, good. Because I hate assuming people's gender, but not because of sociopolitics, but just simply because I think it's weird if you just assume somebody's something. And I've met a lot of guys that have female avatars, and I'm like, what the fuck is that about? How
So
do you do that?
I guess I should have introduced you guys. I feel bad because she is the reigning, defending, undisputed trivia champion of the Salty Nerd podcast trivia. So she's.
Oh, good. Well, we'll need to do a trivia show too because
Hold it
I love trivia.
for now because the next one is about Star Trek: The Original Series, and I love you, Anima, but you're going down, lady. I'm gonna roast you. There's no way. I'm going to I'm gonna outscore you by scores, by like
Dork.
by orders of magnitude.
Dork,
Yes.
when is that going to happen? When?
She knows the date because she's all on top of it. Sometime this mid July, you know.
Because I want to tune in for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you know, I now wanted to talk about it because really, I would like to do something that's an audience-driven thing of a contest, and because Keith, you and I have talked about this, something that we could do as a giveaway.
Yeah.
We've talked about like one of my bigger art prints. If people would even like that, like movie posters I've done, or even some of the like G.I. Joe. IDW still hasn't sent me one fucking comic.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm still pissed about that. So
Are
I've
you allowed-
never gotten to hold my own comic.
I got a question. Are you allowed to, when you do something for another company for hire like that, are you allowed to make a print of it, like and do your own thing with it?
It's my artwork.
Yeah, but
I
sometimes when you
automatically,
sign a
do
contract,
that,
like
I've never
work for
run
hire,
into
because
that.
I've had deals like that before where I did a work
The
for hire
closest
deal.
thing I've done to like that was with one company where they said, if you're going to sell the art that you did for our cover, we would like to have a say in how many you do, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. What are you laughing at, Keith?
Das Wolfen.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can if you want, buddy, but I want to reply to Anima's thing. You think I'm delusional, lady? I will. There's no way you know more about the original series than me. And
There's always someone out there that knows more than you.
No. She knows
That
about
is
all this. That is true. No, that is true. But I'm just saying. Whatever. I put some money on it. Let's make a bet. Let's make a friendly. Let's make
Now
a
you're
friendly
talking.
wager. Let's make a friendly wager. You know. In fact, let's get some side action since all you haters out there think she's going to beat me. And you don't even know her.
Haters, where are you?
Let's get a little side action going. You know, like.
I don't bet. I'm sorry, I don't
like
bet.
Lionheart. That's an old reference. Never mind.
We all
Justice is
gamble.
unfair.
Doing a YouTube show is a gamble. So you're gambling for an audience. So I want to say that I am curious with Anima Confusa if she is a student of Jungian psychology.
Well, she lives in Croatia, so I mean, they probably have a much better education system over there than America. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Are you a student of Carl Jung? Anima? Just curious. Because he spoke a lot about anima and what it means. So let me know when you have print that cover. Well, I can do it at any point, but I'm recoloring it because I hated the colorist's work on my cover. I got that and I was like, really? I could have done that blind, you know? Jeez. Yes, educated in Austria, then I suspect you know a little bit about Carl Jung. So there you go. All right. Because that's an interesting name she has.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's basically that's why I can see why you couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. Also from the name, because
it's non-masculine. It's
well, yeah,
non-feminine.
well, it's the feminine part of a man's personality. So if that's what that word means, and it's confusa, you know, like I don't know. I've always found
that's
the name
what anima means. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to the what Carl Jung was talking about, and it's one of my favorite lines in the movie. Alan Arkin plays the psychologist, and John. Oh my God, what was that movie called? Gross Point Blank.
Oh,
yeah,
Good movie.
Good
and
one.
he puts his hands together and goes, "You have no anima." And I'm like, holy shit, he's a Jungian analyst. I was like, holy shit.
That's a good movie. I may have to watch that again too.
Yeah, my first ex-wife teaches Latin. I shared some stuff about her the other day that she won on Jeopardy. And she won on Jeopardy, baby. She went on there for one of the teachers episode about 7 years ago. And she fucking cleaned house, man. And she teaches Latin. That's what she teaches. She hated my Latin. She used to make fun of my Latin because I spoke Catholic Latin.
I mean, I know pig Latin. Does that count?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, nay. Oh, nay, a way.
No way.
Oh, nay, a way. I'm language nerd. Let's see, anything else? Gross Point Blank, best Cusack. I completely concur. Fucking fights Benny the Jet, man. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Now you guys got me wanting to watch that movie again.
Oh, it's a great film. Popcorn. Dan Aykroyd. Popcorn. Fucking hits him over the head with the TV. Fucking love that movie, dude.
Yeah,
I
it's a fun
fucking
film.
love that movie. It is one of the best films Cryer ever did. Not Cryer, but Cusack.
Cusack.
Absolutely concur. That film and shit, the one they tried to remake with Zoe Kravitz, TV series, terrible. Where he owns a record store. And Jack-
High Fidelity.
High
Was it
Fidelity.
Was it High Fidelity?
I fucking love. I love the book and I love that movie.
Yeah, the book's great.
Bibbidi bop, popcorn. So yeah, we're nerds. Yeah. We should do a trivia contest, and we need to make something a prize, that you can win. And I think one of my posters would probably do it, or a comic book cover.
Yeah. Running time.
Running Time would be a cool poster to give away. Running Time with Bruce Campbell.
There you go.
Somebody said, if I buy it, can you get Bruce Campbell to sign it? I'm like, no, you do that. I'm not doing the work for you. Fuck no. I don't have
Bruce
anything
doesn't like
signed
him.
by him. Fuck would I do that for you for? Anima said, I had 6 years and 4 French should have been the other way around. Yeah. The best I can say is I fucked a French teacher once. It was nice. And that's the most French I ever had.
This is that kind of show, Anima.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of this. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Look, Matt Vader is one of my friends, and I like Kadish too. I like everybody over there, but Matt's actually one of my friends, and he gets me.
He'll never admit it.
I'm former military, and I've got a crass sense of humor.
And
Yeah,
we're
if
his
you join
enablers.
us-
I mean, friends.
Yeah, and if you join us over here, watching us too, you can. We'll set up. We should really do a contest night. I really don't know what to do. I have no idea what I'm doing, but it would be fun.
Yeah,
Have
we could
some-
run one based on
Keith.
the show to see how dedicated a lot of you fans are. If you've been learning stuff, if
Nobody's
you've been
going to
watching
win
the show.
that. Nobody's going to win
I
that.
think
Well,
so.
well, then you cut out a bunch of
What
the new
episode
people.
did Danny have his mustache shaved?
Well, I mean, learning about personal stuff. Like for instance, let's see, you've talked about the incident with a certain animal and your member. What animal was it?
When the kitten bit my dick.
Oh, see, that would have been a question, but
Or when I was in a mixed group of Baptists and Pentecostals at a Christmas party, my boss says, "Tell that story," and I switched out and just said "cock," and I said it as often as I could, just to freak all different religious people in the room. Yeah, that's when he grabbed hold of my cock and he just kept pulling my cock, just growling, yanking and pulling, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, cover the children's ears."
and then something,
I don't teach you to bring children to a fucking Christmas party with booze.
And then another one would be what city was my first science fiction convention at? Stuff like that. If you've been watching.
Was it Cleveland?
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
Was it Ohio?
No,
It was
no,
in Ohio.
no, King Sport Cal. I did not shave it. Without warning, Cece came over and shaved it. So
It was fun. We did it live on the show. It was fun.
Another funny one would be, what drugs was Danny on when he told that terribly depressing story about him finding his
No.
dead friend?
That's the wrong question. It's what drugs wasn't he on?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Anima, I got to tell you, one time he came on, like he had just gotten out of surgery, so he was like high on whatever they drugged him up with.
The anesthesia, yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, and we're going to have one of those, is this the real world, Tommy, kind of moment. No. He went into one of the darkest fucking stories I ever fucking heard in my life. And the funny part of this is my reaction to it was most people would be fucking freaked out. Like, what do we do? I'm laughing, going, you have completely destroyed the episode.
And I don't remember any of it. I'm sorry. I still haven't gone back and watched it either.
And that's when I walked in on my dead friend.
You know,
Which of the people on this show has a family member that actually likes Gary more than they do them?
Oh, ouch.
Holy shit! Did you just Marsha?
No, he's talking about his brother.
I know that's.
Oh, I thought he was talking about my mother.
Oh, talking about my mother. Penny's awesome. Yeah, and it's true. Anime, it's true. Anima. It's my problem with the word anima is it sounds so much like enema, and it's like I've always hated that. But Penny prefers watching our show to watching Danny on fucking Salty Nerd. She loves him so much. It's so sweet.
Oh yeah, she does that all the time, and like I think it's funny for Anima to know this because she's a big Salty Nerd person. So whenever I'm on Salty Nerd, my mom will come in, give it a like, say hi, pretend she's there, and then a few minutes later,
go watch us.
leave and come over here. It's like, come on, man.
Wow, Dust Wolfen, you've been paying attention. You must be a fan. Jeez.
KC, baby.
But because I got to be honest, it's hard to find shows that have as much humor as ours. Our show is just flat out funny, and it's not just me. Steven over there, Steven way over there, man, he's occasionally funny, and he'll hit like my favorite with him is like he'll go off on a rant, and I fucking love Steven's rants. I do. You'll see. Have you ever watched me during one of his rants? I'm like this. Just like enjoying.
He gets so impassioned that people think he's actually like,
oh my God,
getting mad at you or something. But he's just like going on.
Let's talk about Steven like he's not here.
Oh, he's not here, is he? I don't.
Yeah,
wow, he's right above me.
We'll pretend he's not here. Steven has, and I fucked with him for a long time because he asked me, "Well, you think I'm funny?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." and I was returning a joke that was done on me by my buddy Mac. And Mac, for years, kept saying he didn't find me funny, and it really frustrated me. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding, right?" And finally, one day, we were sitting there, and I said something, and I heard and saw him through the corner of my eye laugh at what I just said, and then he immediately went straight faced, and I went, and Zoe was there too, and I'm like, "You fucking laughed," and he goes, "No, I didn't. I sneezed." Because he didn't want to give me that fucking moment of laughing at something I said. And so I returned that favor to Steven for a while, and he really thought I didn't think he was funny, but I do find Steven very funny. But I think the meanest thing I ever said to him, I said, I don't laugh on the outside at your jokes. I laugh on the inside. It's just
it's right next to his ulcer.
Right next to my ulcer.
Another trivia question. Which one of the panelists actually told a guest, Tom Cook, that they would love to have certain things on their wall and that they should leave their door locked or unlocked in this case?
That was me.
That was definitely Steven.
Whose mom on sub to my channel more than anyone else here?
Who on this
Your
channel
night mom
has the loudest fan in the background?
You. That's scenes? He's muted, I can still hear it.
It's not right now, but there are times like when it gets really hot there, man, he'll have that thing cranking, and he'll go to talk, and all you hear is.
I got another question.
Yeah, that was my old computer, and that's why I got rid of it.
Here's another question. Who's the most Venezuelan Milwaukeean in our panel?
Wait, what?
Who's the most Venezuelan Milwaukeean in our panel?
Well, it's not a fair question because that's Venezuela by way of Indiana, because he's not in real Venezuela or from real Venezuela. The whole thing, the accent and everything. He says he's like in Mexico. Everybody knows there's no such thing as internet in Mexico.
Oh my God!
I use Starlink.
Oh wow!
One day someone's gonna get really fucking cancel me. You watch.
He's using HughesNet. That's what he's doing.
Use that. I use,
Howard
I
Hughes
use
net,
my
baby.
data on my phone. I remember when I went through a period when I didn't have internet working, and I would hook my phone up to get my internet through my data, and it was a really good connection. But then it would start like, you've run out of data. It's like, what do you mean I've run out of data? I have unlimited data.
No, they throw you, bro.
You're unlimited for a short period, but once you go past a certain amount, then it's tapered a little bit, and you get what's available at that time of day. And I said, then why are you calling it unlimited?
It's a marketing thing. It's technically unlimited. It's BS. But
It's
when I was
a
in Texas,
dog
when I was
lie.
doing all those shows with you guys in Texas, that was off of my hotspot off my phone. I was pretty impressed with that. So.
Hotspot is code for this is where I hold my pornography.
Secret
Because
Service
it's hot
is-
and it's on the spot.
How come his avatar's not showing up? Is anybody else seeing?
No,
yeah,
in-
it's broken.
In YouTube. It's
Okay.
neither.
That's my friend Chris. He's Afghanistan Army combat vet buddy of mine. Completely fucking insane, but funny. And I really, Chris, we got to get that video because I don't know where it is that shows me fucking doing medical treatment on you when you got your ass, your armpit, and your hand burned during that fireworks battle that I was medic at. Because that's fucking awesome, man. You actually see me on the show. It was a movie called Vietnam, whatever year it was. I can't remember what year that was. And I'm shocking his hand with ice because he burned his hand so badly. He had a grenade that he made of fireworks, and when he went to throw it, right after it was leaving his hand, it went off and burned the shit out of his hand. He had a firework land in the back of his cargo pants. He's wearing his military uniform, and his ACUs. I can't remember if he had BDUs or ACUs. And one went down his belt and his ass crack, burned his ass crack. And you saw on camera me dressing and dealing with that one. And I was wiping his ass. And then there was also one, but I don't think this was on camera when he got burned under his armpit. It's a hell of a fucking thing. I got hurt during that one because when certain fireworks go off, they go off like flares. And so it can fuck with shadows. And I went across a log and thought that there was more log. It was actually a hole, and I went down and got a compression and injury on my left knee, and it fucked me up. I ended up in a wheelchair for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
That sucks.
No, he earned it. You get that fucking crazy, running up there to the front line, shit happens to you. But it made for great cinema, man. It was a great fucking video. Jason Stewart was our mutual friend. Jason, I wrote the script, The New Vikings, trying to explain how he introduced all of us and then just sort of blended into the woodwork and just sort of disappeared in our lives. And we all stayed friends. Stewart's just doing his thing. He owns an Army surplus store in Lebanon, Missouri.
Lebanon.
But I met Chris and his brother Shawn through Stewart. I met Mac, Ultra Rob. These are all friends. Keith's met Ultra Rob. I think you met Shawn too, Chris's brother. Red hair, crazy as fuck.
I think we, I think all told, there have been more people that we've had on that are friends of yours or related to you in some way than any other person on the show.
How did I'd even lose this on trivia. How did I come across you guys? How did we become friends? Like, was that through Vader or?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Because I had said something about needing somebody that might be able to help me, and your name was tossed at me.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And then which of us have never had friends, have never had relatives on the show?
Well, you haven't had your family on here.
Yeah, I have. My daughter came on once.
Martine?
She peeked in and said hi a couple times.
Oh, walking in the background doesn't fucking count.
Well, sure it does.
counts.
You know, my son Cece, and my mom. Well, my mom hasn't been on it, but my son and Cece.
And you don't.
Actually, my mom has been on the show, the April Fool's Day prank.
Yep. And your aunt jumped on.
My aunt, that you kept
Your
calling
gorgeous
hot.
aunt.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
I knew it.
I didn't say she was hot until you got funny about it, and then I said, "Well, your aunt's hot." Because
You're very hot. Yeah, your aunt's smoking. I looked her up. In the phone
I
book.
wanted to joke at one point. Did she take milk baths? I'm just curious how she tastes.
Does she like coconut oil or vanilla scented oil?
Oh, I'm a coconut man. You can do everything.
Not
with
you.
Coconut oil. You can cook with
Not
it,
you.
fuck with it. You can fix
Not
switches
you.
doors
I don't
with
want
it.
to picture you lathering up just to go down a crocodile mile.
Yeah, baby.
I can hardly wait to get.
This
One
man
day
just smells like-
I'm going to get Jim Woodward on here, and I'm going to embarrass the shit out of him about things I know about him.
Probably dresses like Bret Hart when he sits in the bathtub.
Oh,
What? No, I mean.
Oh, you were trolling him yesterday. He was trolling comics yesterday because he hates broccoli.
Welcome to the wonderful world of California.
My favorite broccoli, actually, to have
is the
eat it because I'll eat it because I know it's good for me. But my
love
favorite
broccoli.
is with General's chicken. I like it when there's onion, carrot, and broccoli fried in with it.
Wow.
So you do the quick stir fry with it. And my God, man, that General sauce all over it. Fuckity diddle. That's it's good. My God, it's good.
I'm a
Just
simple
very
man. You
interesting.
give me some broccoli and smother it in cheese, and I'm in heaven. I love it.
What kind of
So good.
cheese do you like?
From under.
The serious answer is extra sharp cheddar, but in your case,
I can make it sharp, but it won't be cheddar.
Personally, I like properly aged, ripened wino dick cheese.
I like that
Do you
cheese that was
like
sprayed
grilled
all
cheese?
over MM in the
Cheese?
last episode of The Boys. That's my favorite cheese.
Do you like grilled cheese? Jizz?
I've not
Cheese?
finished the episode. I've got halfway through. I can hardly wait to finish it. As many issues as I have with that show, with certain things that they decide to do, I laugh my ass off, and I find it so fucking awesome. The cast is so good.
Anima hadn't seen any of it, and so I was like telling her, like, you gotta watch this. So she binged from season 1 up until the latest episode. In fact, I haven't seen today's episode. One just dropped today, right? Yeah, I gotta watch that as soon as I get off here. I'm watching that.
My beef.
But she would keep
with the show-
texting me, or Discord messaging me as she's watching it, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe! Oh my God, this is so fun! Oh my God!" Like it was great. It was hilarious.
have him watch Peacemaker.
Ugh.
Have you seen? Yeah, that's a good question, Adam. Have you seen Peacemaker? That was a good one.
Peacemaker is DC's version of The Boys.
Yeah.
Look, I got to tell you, Homelander, I don't like, because I'm a big fan of the actor Anthony, whatever his name
Starr.
is. Very good actor. His show on Skinamax, Banshee, fucking loved him in that, man. But he is just so not right for Homelander because
Oh, I misspoke. She hasn't
Homelander is
watched
supposed to look all American, have that look. He always looks like he's up to doing evil as an actor. He always has that look on his face. He has an expression, and he's got that thing with his lip. He always looks like he's like doing this, and he just looks like he's up to something. But I love him as an actor. But they should have got someone that looked more all-American. That just absolutely you couldn't imagine doing something evil. Anthony, you can see doing something evil.
Oh
He
man,
looks
Yeah.
he
Are you
looks
getting
like
fucked by
Michael
stupid?
Pat.
Oh my God, I loved how that ended up in her mouth, saying that to the on-air personality, and he
Brain
goes,
getting fucked by stupid.
"What will you do to me if I say yes?" And then she pulls out that big
Oh
red, white, and
God.
blue fucking dildo
Jesus,
strap on, and he goes,
that
"Yes,
shit's got
I am
issues.
being fucked by stupid." Because he wants to get pegged.
Hey,
That
now,
was
so
so
I
fucking
misspoke.
funny.
Anima's in here. She hasn't seen any of season 3 yet. So
Oh
yeah.
well.
Well, good. I've not given up any plot points,
Okay.
or story points. Story is more important than plot points, but plot points seems to be the most important thing to other people, which is weird.
Why don't you repeat that for all the Star Trek Discovery fans out there?
Because
But
plot's
there-
not important.
There are Star Trek Discovery fans.
Stories what's important. And I'm a big fan of character-driven stories, and they really are trying to do that with Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. make it a character-driven story. But they pulled a Discovery mistake this episode with that one character where we just meet this guy. He's Ensign Ricky. Ensign Ricky is promoted to lieutenant.
No,
I'm
Duke.
not an ensign anymore, I'm a lieutenant.
No, Duke.
And then he gets eaten by an alien. And
it's Ensign Duke who gets the promotion to Lieutenant Duke. You're talking about Duke.
Ricky, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. And that's my point. Is nobody cares. This guy is introduced in the episode and killed in the same episode.
He's their version of Wade from Obi-Wan.
Oh,
I thought it was
that's
just.
not,
It was one of those
that's
bad
not high praise.
fucking Discovery moments where it's like we need to make the audience care about him. Well, you know how you do that. Remember the engineer guy with the antenna, the Andorian? You write good dialogue for them and make them important to the story and the characters. That's how you do it. And you do it in 2 to 3 episodes. You build that rapport up with that character. And then you care about him. You cannot do it in the same episode and have it work. People don't work that way.
Yep.
But they think that. Fucking Akiva and fucking Kurtzman think you can do that. Like, make people care, force them to care. And it's like, no, you don't. It doesn't work that way. Well,
Fireplace in space, baby.
See, the characters are crying. They're upset. Say, I'm going to the store. Anyway.
Yeah. So now you're upset over this guy that you met 5 fucking minutes ago.
And nobody cares.
That doesn't work.
You got to understand how drama works, and drama doesn't work that way. And but Kurtzman thinks it does.
Although, according to Kurtzman, all of us on this show, or at least that were with you yesterday morning, we got enough trauma to make us like admirals in Starfleet now.
Well, in season 2, they're gonna tell us how Wade once had a wife.
Yeah, it's like, hey, they come back and nobody fucking told her. That'd be fucked up. That'd be funny as hell. Like, yeah, they come back to Earth, you know, and dropping everybody off, and there's his wife with the card up, Duke, Lieutenant Duke. It's like, and they turn away from the camera. Nobody told her he's dead. There's an episode. It'll be like, what is that movie about going to White Castle?
Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, it's like Pike and Spock go to White Castle. These writers wouldn't recognize good drama if it jumped them naked in the shower. Oh my God, I would love to have that happen. Naked in the shower. Anyway, that'll teach me. I'm always fully dressed in the shower. People keep telling me you're doing it wrong, and I'm like, I don't know. Works for me. I clean my
Get
clothes.
your clothes clean.
Yeah.
At the same time, we get a nice shower.
But the guy's name is Duke. It was just like out of the blue. And by the way, get up here, Duke. Get up here. And it's like, what's going on? It's like, oh, you know, you're not an ensign anymore. Oh God, don't know where this is going. It was just bad writing.
Did they put him in a red shirt at least?
No, he's gold. He's Starfleet. The only one that's in a red shirt is the security. What's her name? Khan Noonien Singh's granddaughter, whatever the fuck she is.
Yeah,
she's Singh, and she's
looking
in
like somebody
red.
from The Expanse.
Uhura, but technically she's a cadet in training, and then what's his name? The Andorian, that's the engineer, chief engineer. Wait a minute. What was it?
You even watch the show. La'an,
Oh, yeah.
Uhura, and Hemmer. Those are their names. Hemmer did have a red shirt on,
Hand job.
you know, by the way.
Well, he was, you know,
He
I
got
didn't like him in
redshirted.
the first episode. I fucking hated
I
his
loved
guts.
him. He was one of my
He was
favorite characters.
If I met a person like that and they talked like that to me, I would have pulled him aside and said, "You need to watch your fucking mouth." And
But
then he got interesting in the episode where it's a costume episode with the sentient, super intelligent Q-like creature took over the ship.
Hold up.
And
where he goes, Abra Cadabra.
Yeah, I know, that was funny. And somebody said, it's too soon to be doing a costume episode. I'm like, no, it's not. There's no rule.
I
like
love
that.
that episode.
That was one of my favorites. I
yeah.
loved it.
This-
There
the
was
last
the only thing
episode-
that pissed me off was the obvious making Pike the gay coward.
He wasn't gay. The other dude was gay. He wasn't like you because I remember you saying that before I watched the show.
He was a puff. His character was meant to be a puff.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
He was very puffish, and I just thought that was, that was too obvious. They shouldn't have done that.
Danny and Gary, a question, because it has bothered me for some time now. Weren't the Andorian applying for induction to the Federation on Kirk's time?
No, well,
We weren't at peace. The Federation wasn't at peace with the Andorians at that time. There were peace talks. That's what the whole
Peace
thing with
talk.
the Vulcans was
So-
about.
No, but
during
you
the
remember.
Great
Well, no, you
Crusade.
got to remember Enterprise and Shran. So you've got a heavy ally in Shran, but they did have some issues with
He was a frenemy.
Tellarites. Now, by the end of the show, Shran and Archer were homies, man. Like they were
you
brothers in
cannot-
arms.
You cannot use that like an endorsement for the whole
Because
Andorians.
Enterprise broke canon several times.
No,
on.
and his friendship with Archer
Shred.
put him in
guys-
trouble with the government.
Yes.
But you guys got it all wrong. That was not Shran. We all know it was Wei-Yun, dermal regenerated and put back in the time to help Captain Archer.
Same
What?
actor. Same actor.
Yes, I didn't break canon. There is the
Freaking
Temporal
Jeffrey
Cold
Combs.
War. We don't know where the temporal stuff came out. Keith, stop it.
I mean, if you
That's
really
not-
want to push this one, all of Star Trek is a figment of his imagination when he was the FBI agent in the movie, the horror comedy. By the guy who did the Lord of the Rings.
Peter Jackson?
Yeah, Peter Jackson's movie about ghosts.
Oh.
The Frighteners.
Frighteners. He was the FBI agent.
That's
It was
also
all
true.
a fever dream by that character, Star Trek.
But technically, that character was actually drawn by the people who drew the stencils for Roger Rabbit.
Wow.
Wow, I never thought this would happen.
So,
Trivia
well,
that I don't give a shit
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So no, to answer your question, Martine.
There was a question?
Yes, there was.
Yes.
The Andorians were one of the first 4 founding members of the Federation of Planets, and that was established in again Enterprise. Episode 0 Hour, and Shran had a lot to do with that. I'm just scanning my memory banks here, but you guys got to
But I'm
why
talking about
is
the Star Trek
the
original series?
Okay,
They weren't part of the.
No.
I don't think they would have if they retconned something that big, they would have admitted like we're in a reboot universe right now. Although there's a great video in the podcast where they think they did a secret reboot and they actually take it all the way back to Enterprise is where it started.
Don't get me started with that video.
It's
please.
all in the Picard timeline. It's all in the Picard timeline.
Don't
That is it.
even get me started.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to.
I would
You know
love
what-
to
you
hear
know
a
what-
rant in that accent though.
Do you know
Let's
what
get him
happened
started.
though? Do you know what really bothered me? It ruined my love of pecans, and it was Picard.
Okay.
There you go. I killed everything. Gary, back to
My
you.
internet is going to.
I
hell.
didn't even catch what you said.
I said my love of.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Go fuck yourself.
Well, whatever helps you sleep at night, bitch.
Hashtag go fuck yourself.
So the long and the veiny of it is, you're
Fuck yourself.
No. Okay, hold up. Anima. Here you go. What episode of the original series did they establish that the Andorians were indeed members of the Federation? Anybody?
Cry havoc, and let's slip the dogs of war.
We can go to the Final Frontier and just ask.
Here you go. Here's where I'm going to lay out the big old fucking dick of trivia knowledge for TOS.
Uh-oh.
Journey to Babel. Journey to Babel. And that's why they said, and that's why in Enterprise the episode was called Babel 1, because it was a callback. So, yes, they've always been a member of the Federation.
Does anyone else notice Gary's face? It's the I'm not interested anymore face. I've noticed it.
I'm not convinced about that. I'm going to rewatch.
Go watch, watch Journey to Babel. If you need to borrow my Paramount Plus login, let me know.
Where the actual story is about Spock's dad.
Yes, and it was written by one of
He's
the best.
reading off another screen. Look at his eyes. He's reading off another screen.
The Andorians
That's valid.
The Andorians were created by DC Fontana.
He's cheating.
There you
He's
go.
cheating.
There you go.
He's look. His eyes keep.
No, I'm looking. No, here. Do you guys want to? I'll stream my screen.
I'm messing with.
This is my Discord.
I'm
this
literally
is my
messing with
StreamYard. This is the YouTube with the chat, which is what I keep looking at. And then over here, I've got nothing. Really, I just need to turn this screen off.
I'm literally messing.
No, I know. You always are. There we go.
Yeah, you love it.
Oh man, I love abuse.
That's not what's happening
on
here.
my screen.
Wow.
This is the face of a guy who's watched all 79 episodes.
Well, I've talked about DC Fontana.
Oh yeah.
She was one of those people. She was afraid that her being a woman would cause her trouble, so she went by her initials,
DC. And for the longest time, I didn't know she was a woman because of that. And we were just talking about her recently.
I didn't know it as a kid.
They ripped off Strange New Worlds. Weren't we talking about this? They didn't give her any kind of props or credits for Una's backstory. We were just talking about that a few weeks ago, I think, or it might have been on Sultan.
They don't hardly give anybody credit. That's another thing about both that show and Discovery. Yeah. They are
I get
really bad
pissed
about
with
that.
their opening intro. And speaking of that, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Let me go find that video. Share video file.
Okay, you got me there, Gap. That one.
Here we go. Now, before we play it, I know I'm going to have to cut this out because we're going to get.
This is one of the few intros I don't skip. Why don't you like this?
You're fucking kidding me. Over half the fucking opening is executive producer and producers.
Oh, well, see,
they skip right over the actors really quickly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Fucking dumb. Nobody gives a shit about the producers. What we care about is who's going to be in the show, and we want to see proper credit given to Gene Roddenberry, not to the fucking producers. They don't get us.
So Mom got the book. Remember, we were talking about what's it called, Mom? Vulcan.
Turn your phone off for Pete's sake.
Vulcan's Glory. Yeah, remember that the story that the Strange New Worlds ripped off. So Mom finally got it from the library and she's reading. She hasn't finished it yet, but yeah.
But here you go. This is the way the opening title should go.
No, I agree. That was perfect. Here's my problem. The reason I didn't notice is because I'm always like, the reason I don't skip it is I love like Anson Mount doing the Final Frontier, but then after that I'm just like kind of he's jamming to the music because I like the score, so I'm not really even paying attention to what it says.
I would like to address Kingsport. Yes, Kingsport, you have you are correct. The line change. It was Old Man Kirk who changed the line from no man to no one.
To no
so
one.
In fact, he says it. Spock is the first one to say it.
He
said it at the end. He says, "We're no man, where no one has gone before."
So in this point in the timeline, it should say "no man."
Yep. But the fact is, Strange New Worlds is also in there.
Yeah.
And I like that. I got to be honest. I like Strange New Worlds. Although there was a Asian comedian, he had I can't remember his name, but he had a Southern accent. He said, "Man, I grew up watching Star Trek. Man, watched it every week. Got so excited to hear that opening monologue, or to boldly go. But man, we kept wondering when they're gonna get there."
Well, the galaxy is
And where the hell does Boldly go?
Oh my!
He reminded me of Andy Griffith when Andy Griffith first started up doing his comedy, and just fucking with like he did the Romeo and Juliet thing that just cracked me up when I was a kid. He says, "Well, I love Romeo and Juliet," and she says, "Oh Romeo, wherefore art thou?" And he pops out and he goes, "Right here, Juliet." Fucking Andy Griffith, Country Boys. That was back when man still meant human. Well, it still does. Only idiots think that it means man. Like the gender. It's fucking stupid. That's right. It's a simple, it's getting into science, biology, and all that shit. You know, I was telling someone the other day, you know, we are not Homo sapiens. Stop calling us that. We're Homo sapiens sapiens. Chimpanzees and gorillas are Homo sapien. We're part of that same family. We're the extended family called Homo sapiens sapien. That, you know, that's because I took biology and anthropology. I'm boldly going to, wait a minute. I'm boldly going to work in a couple hours. Have a good day today. We're wrapping up here. We're coming up 6 minutes to the top of the hour. Yeah. I remember in high school when we first read the words Homo erectus, and I asked the teacher, "But was he really?" I used to get in trouble all the time for questioning teachers.
I can't imagine why.
Am I? No, am I? And you know what? You need to do that Alf Jeebus when Mikey Canal is in the chat. That's fun. Uh-oh. Anima liked that something there. So
Your Homo erectus joke, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. But was he really? It's like I think it was my son when he confided in me, opened up to me. He says, I just want you to know, Dad, I'm gay. I said, are you? I mean, you got to do it more than once to really be gay. And you have to really like it. What about that article, Gap Stargate? I don't know what he's talking about. I'm often semi-erectus. That's what you are, Mr. Chip Trunk, semi-erectus. That's when we saw Og, the caveman, walking around semi-erect. And yeah, I don't know what article. What article are we talking about, guys?
Oh, I'm just not arguing, but like, because I was curious because I didn't know that he said 13. So I just wanted to fact check him. And in like a short Google search said times that Kirk appeared with his shirt off. So he says 13. So then Google said 20. And then I kept going down the rabbit hole.
Count when it was torn too.
And this one says 12, where it's completely off. So I get where you're saying, well, Google says 20 where it's off or partially off. And then this article says 12 where it's completely off. Okay, but Gap says 13, so it's like that's why I said Google was wrong. Yeah, so I mean, maybe I'll have to go back and just watch them all with the specific note-taking purpose of, okay, does Kirk lose his shirt? Which I don't mind.
What is the best inside joke in Star Trek with the original crew about the excessive kissing by Captain Kirk, even though really he didn't kiss that many? But they made a big deal out of it, and it ended up being made into a joke in Star Trek with the original crew in one of the films.
I know which film.
Was it?
The film was Undiscovered Country.
What scene?
When
the
alien shape-shifting.
Yeah, with the Mon.
He said
Bones. Yeah.
She kissed him.
Yeah.
And then
Bones says,
"What is it she walks
with
away,
you?"
He rolls over and looks over the side of the bed at him. He goes, "What is it with you?"
Because Kirk is a player. He's a pimp. He's a Mac Daddy.
Really,
now, who is that part of his personality based on?
Oh, those
Kurtz?
Yep.
Oh, I don't know.
The No, Horatio Hornblower. That's Picard. Never mind. I don't know.
Gene Roddenberry himself.
Ah, playa.
Because Gene was a player. Three of the major women involved in his life were women he betted.
You know what?
Which included his first wife, and then Majel Barrett, and Nichelle Nichols.
You notice how shirt there, King Sport Cal. He's got a shirt on. So anyway.
Hey, here's another thing. Wait. Hold that back up.
Oh,
Hold
sure.
Okay. So you notice the color of his shirt. Okay?
Uh-huh.
What color is that?
It's kind of like a mustard yellow. It's supposed to be
gold. Okay. Here's something that you... Here's a question. That's not actually the color of the shirt the way that it was on set.
It was greenish.
That's right.
Yeah.
It matched the color of his dress uniform. But because they were made out of two different materials, with all of the lights on that they used for television, whenever it would be filmed, it came off looking like it was a mustard color, when in actuality, the tunic is green. It's a lime green.
Fascinating.
Now, here's one for you that you bring that up, Anima. How many times did Kirk actually kiss a woman on Star Trek?
Oh, see?
Almost one for chapter.
Well, no, we got Uhura, we got the Andorian, not the Andorian, the Orion, and we've got did he kiss Chapel? I don't remember him kissing Chapel.
No,
yeah, I thought you said Chapel.
That's the one that got away.
No, she was always in love with Spock.
Yeah, she was in love with Spock.
Notice how short her skirt was.
Yeah, because she was banging Gene Roddenberry at the time.
Yep, that's the reason why it was so short.
But
are you Googling it? Are you using the Google?
Who, me? I'm looking this up. I'm curious. I don't know. Because I can only think of two.
You cheating bastard.
I'm not cheating. I mean, do you know the answer?
Yeah, I do. But
if you know the answer, tell us.
One of them is in the gray area because we do know that he did not actually kiss Nichelle Nichols.
Yes, well, he was forced to, but it still counts.
No.
Come on.
He did not kiss her because the aliens were trying to force him to do it, and he resisted. And he said later in commentary that they got close, but he would not allow them to force him to degrade one of his officers, and he resisted. And not because he was aborted, because she's gorgeous. Fuck. But no, he was angry that this alien species was trying to force him onto this girl and make this girl forced onto him. So he didn't. So, but
Edith
it's
Keeler
19 times.
Is a third one. How many?
19.
Ah, damn! You weren't going to let me.
Out of 79.
How'd you find it? I couldn't find it.
Out of 79, I just know that.
Okay.
There are 79 episodes, and of the 79, he kissed somebody 19 times.
So
and they
totally
do, and that is including Nichelle Nichols, even though technically he resisted that kiss because he didn't want that being forced on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a really good reason.
Okay, you know what? I can see. So I'm watching. I found just a little clip because it made history as the first interracial kiss. But
it was.
But when they turn the camera, you don't actually see their lips.
No, you see
touch.
her turn, and he's looking over her at past the camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they don't actually touch. And he made a point of saying that, and she's even agreed. Yeah, we did not actually kiss.
But the way they did the camera angle, it looked like it. Really did.
Yep.
And they're afraid that people in Bible Belt in the South are going to have some problems with that, son. And it's like, you know what? Gene was like, that's too bad. And they did block it, didn't they? Block it, Keith?
They tried, and that. I mean, not only during that time period, that kind of stuff lasted all throughout until about the mid to latter half of the 70s, because they made a lot of changes to the television version of MASH because of the southern states.
So I'm kind of curious. Before I Google it, let's ask one of you guys. Plato's Stepchildren, was it ever edited anywhere? And they probably did,
Well, that's the episode, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Didn't they cut that?
They did. They tried to do a cutaway in the southern states, but the fact is, I think he's right. I think it ended up still airing. A lot of people got pissed off, but they got over it.
They did.
That was one where Chapel was really all over Spock in that episode, also.
It wasn't like she was resisting too much.
Well, Amok she was trying to be sweet to him.
And then like he throws the soup at her. He's like, "Get out of here, woman," or whatever he yells. But like, that's the episode where Spock and Chapel finally kiss. But like, if Strange New Worlds is canon, then it's not the first time they kiss. But I don't think Strange New Worlds is canon. I think it's a reboot, and they just haven't admitted it yet.
My man.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
Pike's not going to die at the end of this. I think they're going to do something, and it's going to be an alternate.
Now I got to tell you something. I like Sam Kirk on the show.
Dude, Sam Kirk is the guy from Galaxy Quest. That's all
right.
He is.
He's the comedy relief, and he says things that, like in this last episode, it's like somebody needs to shut him the fuck up. Why are they taking so long? Because Pike should have shut him up a full 2 sentences before, because you knew where he was going, and Pike should have known that. But I guess the writers felt it was necessary for him to say these things to show how small-minded he might be, because he's talking shit about Spock being a Vulcan, no feelings, and all that shit.
But then never in like a scene just a little bit later, you see Duke getting dragged off, and Duke just stands there and does nothing while Spock is trying to help him.
I like boobs. I'm just saying. Boobs. But yeah, we better get going here. We're 4 minutes over. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Do we have our list, Martin?
Yes.
Yay.
I want to thank
Let's
you.
hope nobody that's been on the show.
I want to thank you.
I cannot guarantee that.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
That's it?
No, I was just thinking there were two episodes that Kirk actually didn't kiss the leading lady that I could remember.
What's that?
Metamorphosis. There were 2 episodes of Star Trek where Kirk did not kiss the leading lady of the episode. One was the Empath, and the other one was Metamorphosis.
Yeah, and the Empath, that was such a sparse Lost in Space type episode.
Yeah.
Because they had almost no budget. And so there's a lot of black background shit hanging. And even though later it was planned with the OK Corral episode.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that episode? God, I love that episode.
Spectre of the Gun.
Yeah, what a great episode.
But I've got that stuff tattooed somewhere in the inside of my head. I don't know why.
Because they talked about how that was planned. But the fact is, that doesn't mean it wasn't over budget.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had a limited budget that season. And because, that was when Gene had pretty much abandoned them and started moving on to other projects because he saw the writing on the wall from NBC. But anyway, all right, here we go. I want to thank everybody for being here. Anima Confusa, welcome to the show. Hope to see more of you. Das Waldfin, Floral from Under a Rock, Gap Stargate, Kingsport Carl, Monkey Gibbous, and Mr. Tickle Trunk, of course, Parrot Head, Pat S, Penny J, Secret Circus Podcast, Zacharot 315, the Peter Vinkman fan site, and Awesome One. I want to thank you guys for showing up. I'm sure we're going to get more views over the weekend. We always do. So I'm really excited that we got Andrew on here to talk about this film.
Right.
And finally ask him, because nobody knows what the story is. And so we know a little bit about what it's going to be about.
Oh, excuse me.
I think it's about Superman going to Vegas and tying one on.
Yeah, we already saw that. That was in Superman 3. But I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Andrew for being a great guest. It was nice having him on here. I want to thank Martin and Stephen, and of course Danny. Thanks for being here, guys. And of course, I want to thank my fellow co-host of the show, Justice Steven Seagal, and my partner in crime, Keith Moncrief. And it's been I had a good time. It was really nice meeting him, by the way. I look forward to hearing more about what he's got going with this shit. I just, man, this is going to be fun watching this film get made.
Yeah.
And I hope that we're able to have a relationship where we can get him to come on and show us little sneak peeks of stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll
That
find out.
costume looked great. I gotta say, I'm kind of jealous.
What's that?
I said that costume looked great.
Oh yeah.
I must say, I am kind of jealous.
Well, everybody in the chat, live long and prosper. You guys.
Peace and long life.
I'll be back in a second.
And with that, get off our lawns.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Bye, guys.